Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. This is Pradeep and you're watching Vlog of Note. So, just to establish some daylight between you, can I have a show of hands as to how many of you have tried Samsung's DeX on their Android tablets? It's their customization layer that looks like a desktop and have liked it. Thankfully for you, there is Microsoft who's coming right around the corner to save you. Let's get started. So I want to start by quickly setting some context in the Indian scenario. Android has crazy market share. There is a link in the description to the statistic page right next to the like button which says that Android has over 90% market share, and even KaiOS has more market share than iOS, which has 2.75%. The reason for this is because of Android's accessibility. The fact that you can pay $150 or about 10,000 rupees and get a good Android phone which is open, which you can connect things to and it won't break down, which is basically a pocket computer that you can carry around. Speaking of portable computers, the cheapest budget iPad 9.7-inch non-laminated 32 GB storage iPad can be had in India for about $350 or 24,000 Indian rupees. For those of you who live your lives by Geekbench, there is a link in the description to the Geekbench page. This iPad is rocking the A10 Fusion chip and scores a respectable 3400 on single core, but it is still rocking iOS. Granted, in a couple of months, it's going to be rocking iPad OS, but no matter what tech YouTubers tell you or what every other media outlet in the West tells you, the iPad OS cannot replace your actual computer. So if we move on to the actual computer side, we will find that a comparably spec'd Geekbench score would be the Intel Core i3 8th generation. There is a link in the description. It scores about 3700 on a single core. If we need to find a spec'd Windows computer, then there is the excellent Acer Aspire 3, which has 4 GB of RAM, 16 GB of Optane memory, whatever that is, 1 TB of storage, a keyboard, and no touchscreen, which is being sold in India, link in the description, for about 30,000 rupees or $450. If you must have a touchscreen, however, there is the amazing Surface Go, which is being sold in India without a keyboard. It's ultra portable for about 37,000 rupees or $530 US. However, I'm the first to admit that for you and me, those of us who love those Android apps, there is the number one problem with Windows computers is that they just don't have app support. It would be nice if we could have a desktop class operating system that also runs Android apps, right? Hold that thought. We need to cover 3 stories. The first is Project Courier. So this is a dual display device that Microsoft was working on in 2010, which according to John Friedman at Build 2018, they cancelled because they want to focus on their Windows 8 and their Windows Phone 8 mobile operating system. There is a link in the description to that story. The second one is about Bill Gates, Microsoft's co-founder, eternal billionaire and man who cannot afford a good haircut. His recent interview at Village Capital, a venture capital firm, where he's saying one of his biggest failures was failing to create an Android-like operating system as the alternative to Apple on mobile phones. He says this because platforms, as you know, are winner-take-all markets, and whichever platform has the apps, that's where all of the users are. The final bit is about Project Andromeda or Surface Andromeda. A lot of you have a love-hate relationship with this device. It was supposed to be a dual display, pocketable OLED device, also running Windows and also running Android apps. It's not cancelled, it is paused for this new device, Project Centaurus. This, I think, is the whole point of the video. Microsoft's Surface Centaurus, a dual display 9-inch each display Windows Core OS or Windows Lite device which can also run Android apps. Now, I spoke about Samsung DeX at the start of this video. One of the biggest problems with DeX is that it is just a UI layer over actual Android. It's not a real professional desktop operating system. With Google exiting the tablet business to focus on their amazing Chrome OS with Android devices, it leaves the door open for Microsoft to bring in their Surface Centaurus. We don't know too much more about this device except that it will probably have some kind of emulator like BlueStacks or a native one which Microsoft builds in. We also have questions about how this device will scale the Android apps that currently exist and how it will provide for touch input and how these Android apps will clash with Windows Store apps. I can guesstimate the pricing of this thing. It will be more than the Surface Go, which is retailing in India for about $530 or 37,000 rupees, and it will be less than the Surface Pro 6, which is being retailed in India for the astronomical price of 76,000 rupees or $1,100. I'm guessing it will be priced at about $900 or 55,000 Indian rupees, which, if you're keeping track, is exactly the same price that the Samsung Galaxy Tab S5 is scheduled to launch for. That's about it for this week's video, guys. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. I think the question I have for you today is, if you had the choice to choose between the Samsung Galaxy Tab S5, which runs Android as well as Samsung's DeX operating customization layer, as opposed to Microsoft's Surface Centaurus, which runs Windows Core OS as well as having the ability to run Android apps, which one would you choose? Let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the Vlog of Note YouTube channel, turn on notifications so that you never miss a video, and I will see you guys in the next one.